Hey Gemini, it's Ashley. We're going to do your reading for the last week of October. So we're wrapping up the month, and here shortly, in the next couple of days, we'll be coming out of the final shadow period of that Mercury retrograde we've been experiencing for almost 2 months' time here. We're going to look at past, present, and future and try to see what major story wants to come through. Now, this won't resonate for every Gemini out there. If it does not, go ahead and check out your other placements and see what messages might be there for you. You can look at the description box below to find the schedule for when I release all the elements. If it is your reading, please like and subscribe, and remember to hit that notification bell. If you do that, you'll just get notified whenever a new reading comes out. And we're finally getting some movement here. You may not really be feeling it too much until November comes around, but we've had Jupiter, Saturn, and Pluto go direct, as well as Mercury. So we're finally starting to move forward some more rather than spending so much time in reflection. So I will be glad for sure when October has passed and we're kind of moving forward. So let's see what's been going on with you, Gemini, and what might be coming in for you in the next little bit. What's going on for Gemini for the last week of October? All right, we have the King of Pentacles, the Page of Swords, and the Four of Swords. The Sun, the Three of Swords, and the Ten of Wands, the Seven of Wands, the Lovers, and the Hanged Man. At the bottom of the deck we have the Two of Wands, so could be faced with a decision here. And you can see that she is kind of gazing up at the moon while holding the world in her hands here. So it could be that you have, kind of some longing for something here. We're kind of see what decision you might be faced with at this time. It can also be kind of an energy of waiting for something, maybe even feeling a little bit stuck. Now it does appear you've got a couple of cards here that came up in the fire signs. I'll have to look at what reading it was tied to. But Taming the Wind and Balance actually came out in the fire signs. So it's interesting to see that showing up here as those decks were heavily shuffled. But what this Taming the Wind kind of talks about, this is in the past position, is, kind of controlling our thought processes and perhaps even the way in which we communicate. Now, that fits in quite well with that Mercury retrograde energy, right? We may have had some things that weren't very clear at the time. There could have been some communication mishaps, which tend to come up when Mercury is in retrograde. And it kind of puts us into our thinking mind quite a bit. This can also talk about kind of becoming aware of how we speak to other people, and even recognizing how perhaps the way we've been thinking about something could have been having an impact. We have the King of Pentacles, the Sun, and the Seven of Wands. So some Earth energy here, some Leo showing up. it does look like there's some sort of stability and happiness that you have been, you know, kind of standing up for, defending in the past. You can see this strong man is how this Seven of Wands is depicted. And he's kind of using brute force to break free of something here. And he has like all these different tattoos across his chest and his stomach here. And this one in particular is standing out to me, where there's kind of been, you know, perhaps some battles that you have been enduring in order to protect your abundance, your happiness. And like I said, could be dealing with a Taurus or a Leo here. So let's get some more detail on what might have been going on for you in the past. The King of Pentacles, we get the Page of Wands and the Empress. So definitely some abundance here. Let's see, with the Sun, we have the Queen of Cups and the Magician. So definitely, you know, working to manifest something that speaks to your heart, right? When it comes to the Queen of Cups, it's something that we feel not only intuitively guided towards, but it's something that we have very deep emotions for. So something that we feel a lot of love for. With the Seven of Wands, we have the Star and the Six of Pentacles. So it does feel like in the past, I think your ultimate goal here, outside of, you know, choosing your own happiness, has really been about, you know, kind of recognizing that perhaps things haven't been quite balanced or fair for you in some area of life. Perhaps even in your, you know, kind of career, your abundance, you know, kind of recognizing that you deserve not only balance in your life and abundance here, but also to be given the space to heal from, you know, kind of like old thought processes or paradigms that kept you small, if that makes sense. And so it looks like perhaps the Mercury retrograde served to kind of uncover some ways in which you had been put into kind of a box, and you became aware of that. And at this juncture, you're standing up for your own need for balance and healing, happiness, abundance, you know, really coming into this recognition that you deserve to have those things just for being yourself, right? Now with this Page of Wands showing up here, you could certainly have had some interesting conversations, maybe even arguments with someone here. We definitely have some heavy Taurus and Libra energy, some Cancer, Pisces, Gemini, Virgo, and Aquarius here. So we're going to expand upon that and see what's coming up in your present moment. Now here, this card also showed up in one of the fire sign readings, but it's essentially the Justice card. You can see it says balance, but like the Justice card, her eyes are covered, and in this particular depiction, she's got different phases of the moon on either side, kind of keeping it in balance in her. Now, I guess her eyes are covered here because she is like the Justice card, trying to have like an unbiased opinion or view of the truth, right? And so it looks like there's some balance being struck in your life at this time for the week of October 24th. So we have the Page of Swords, the Three of Swords, and the Lovers. Now, it certainly could be that someone is coming in to communicate, perhaps even a soulmate here. Somebody's talking with you, or you are speaking up about kind of a broken-hearted situation here. And keep in mind that Mercury retrograde was very much in the sign of Libra, which is showing up here, but also very heavy on one-on-one relationships. So whether that be friendships or romance, just how we interact with one other person, it really brought into question the balance that was being experienced in those dynamics. And you are getting the Six of Pentacles here in the past position. You can see he's holding a scale and deciding where to place his energy, essentially. And so that theme was strong for everyone, Gemini, but it's definitely been showing up as some lessons learned for all the signs as we're coming out of that retrograde. So let's see what might be going on for you at this time. What do we have? The Page of Swords. Okay, we have the King of Wands and the Sun. So again, some Leo, Aries, Sagittarius energy there. So again, these cards showed up for the fire signs. I will see which sign it was. I don't recall. And I'll try and remember to link that at the end of this video, especially if in a relationship situation you are dealing with a fire sign. With the Three of Swords, we have Temperance, so some Sagittarius there, and the Five of Pentacles. So it does feel like someone here is healing from a rejection that took place. With the Lovers, we have the World and the Queen of Wands. So we have the King and Queen of Wands here, definitely showing up as a divine couple with the Lovers there. So it does look like, at least in the way the cards are laid out here, that this masculine may be communicating that this relationship is coming to an end. And there's heartbreak here. There is rejection and pain associated with this ending. But it does feel like in this situation, it's, with the World showing up, this is the completion of a large cycle. And so I do feel like in some ways this is probably something that is kind of a knock to your confidence, Gemini. Now, one thing I want to mention here is I do feel like this masculine, as it's showing up. Now, it doesn't have to be a man, okay? Keep that in mind. Depending on your situation, you're welcome to flip and reverse the energies to best fit your story. But it does feel like this masculine which may actually be you, depending on who's watching this. The sun here is tied back here in the past position. It's showing up here twice. So I do feel like this masculine energy, this wanting to nurture something that is inspiring, is happy, and is related to a deep love for something here. This has been put into manifestation here in the past. And I do feel like this person is coming forward to communicate that. It feels like he or she is seeking happiness. And it could also feel like kind of a revelation. With that sun showing up with the Page of Swords, it could be some sort of almost enlightening news that comes in. Perhaps even something that wasn't completely expected, except for on an intuitive level here. Okay, so but I do feel like there's probably been some perhaps even the sensation that this person has been a bit flighty lately. Like it was hard to maybe even read where they were at because it felt like their energy would change frequently. It almost feels like they're just seeking something, and it's not really super clear to you what it is that they're after. And I feel like there's some frustration with that, because I think on some level you or the other person is trying to really have a deeper understanding of what all this conflict is about. And it does feel to me that one of you is like seeking this deep happiness somewhere, and the other is just looking to heal from this dynamic. So, take that as it resonates. That may be different for each of you watching. Now, in this future position, we have the Master. And so what this talks about is really being in touch with that higher self aspect of yourself. It's like you on your very best day. And so what the Master card talks about is being in like your strongest energy, even under challenge here. And kind of recognizing that perhaps pulling away from this is the best medicine at this time. We have the Four of Swords, the Ten of Wands, and the Hanged Man. It's almost like you're beginning to see, it's like this Hanged Man is looking at the Lovers here from a different angle. And it's almost like you're beginning to see that perhaps the struggle associated with trying to keep this together is, not worth it, right? And instead, kind of hanging back in this more healing, restful place is the best medicine. You can see she's kind of, kicked back. Now the Four of Swords is typically a respite energy, a healing energy, and we have that showing up here with the Star and Temperance all in this angle here. So there's a lot of healing themes coming through. Let's see what else we can get here. The Four of Swords, we have Justice. So again, with that Libra balanced theme coming in as well. From toxicity, trying to heal and balance things out after being in a situation that may have felt like you were in a box. Do you remember how I was talking about that in this past row? That sensation of being kind of held down. The Ten of Wands. We get the Four of Wands. And the Knight of Pentacles. Almost like this union itself has been like a very slow, arduous process here. And it's like what's been building is kind of like this back-breaking. You see how she's holding. Now in this depiction, the wands are flowers. And so it's like she's got all this beauty on her back, but it's weighing her down. It's like trying to find out, is it really worth it? You try and build up this beautiful dynamic, this beautiful relationship, but I mean, she can't even stand up straight here, right? And so it's like really seeing how perhaps the level of work required in this union is maybe not worth it. And it's just not moving at a speed that's conducive to being your best, right? It's not allowing you to be in your best place. The Hanged Man, we have the Eight of Wands. And the Moon. It's like, yeah, it's like seeing that it's time to move forward, even if there's emotion here for this person, even if there's fears of what lies ahead. Because I feel like in some ways the burden and perhaps even the bind that holds the two of you together has a lot to do with fear, with the Devil and the Moon showing up here, rather than, you know, there's that Two of Wands again, that expansion and kind of stepping into the future here. Right, I guess I need to get that on camera. But it's like even in this card that we talked about at the beginning, you know, she's got what seems like, you know, some beautiful thing here, right? She's holding the whole world in her lap. And she's got this giant bouquet of flowers, but it's weighing her down, and she's still longing for something that's more emotionally connected by staring at that moon, right? And so I feel like what you're finding out is that somehow this lover's situation is actually what's holding you back from being the best version of yourself that you can be. Now it does look like a lot of healing is happening at the same time as this ending. So it looks like that's going to continue. Here, moving into the future position. But this is a big theme right now. Like, there's a lot of relationships that have come into question. And as we exit this shadow period of the Mercury retrograde, we're gaining the clarity of how things just haven't been balanced in the past. And I think one of the fire readings actually talked about how at some point it wasn't even recognized that it was imbalanced until it was too much to handle anymore. And so that's coming up a lot right now after this retrograde. Like, we knew going into it that that was the theme. Not that that makes this situation easy, of course, but it does seem to be playing out for a lot of the collective at this time. So I hope that was helpful, Gemini, and I wish you the best of luck in dealing with your healing process if this was your reading. And I will see you in the November reading. We'll see what's coming forward as we kind of get out of all this retrograde energy and into some forward motion here. So I will see you then. Bye.